Hey gang, what's up? Welcome back here to another edition of Intuitive Angling, and thanks a lot for checking out the video today. Much appreciated. And today we're sort of going to do the third and final rant in this series I've been doing. You guys have seen the videos I've done the last day and a half talking about the fact there's going to be over 1,000 boats on Table Rock Lake this weekend, and about how ridiculous all this is, putting right on top of the spawning season. And we're going to talk about it, and we're going to make a case why there needs to be much stiffer regulations as far as fishing in general for bass during the peak spawning seasons. I'm going to sort of give you my opinion on that from a conservationist standpoint, and I'll be curious to get your guys' feedback along this topic as well. And real quick, before we get started, guys, I just wanted to give everybody a really big thanks, and really grateful for everybody that's been supporting the channel by checking out our View Product shopping tab. That's, in the video shows at the bottom left, it says View Products. By clicking on those products, it's a really good way to help the channel. And YouTube's getting ready to end that. They're going to have something else similar to that. I'll keep you guys updated if you guys want to continue helping the channel out. Much appreciated. Okay guys, real quick, if you haven't seen what we've been talking about, I'm fishing that BFL tournament on Saturday at Table Rock. There's probably going to be 200 boats. There's some KVD Big Bass Bash going on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. They're expecting 500 to 1,000 boats in it. There's club tournaments going on. There's some other tournament going on out of Campbell's Point. There's something going on the James River. There's weekend guys. Guys, Table Rock Lake is going to get annihilated this weekend. And what I want to talk about is the bigger picture about how we shouldn't be, you can't keep people from fishing, but people should not be allowed to keep bass during the spawn on these lakes. And it's the same thing, guys. Like, people know, you guys that hunt know what I'm talking about. Why do you think they do not allow deer hunting in June? That's because the female, the does are protecting their fawns. You don't take away, a doe while they're trying to protect a fawn. And it's the same thing about when bass are trying to guard eggs and guard fry from getting eaten by predators. You don't jerk them off their nest and take them away from there. It's the same concept from a conservationist point of view. It's a smart thing to do. So, the northern states have got this right, guys, because that's why the northern fisheries are so much better than any other fisheries around the country. They're one of the few states up there in the northern tier states that have regulations put on fishing and taking fish during the prime spawning seasons. They've got it right. We need to have that instituted everywhere in the country. And what we need to do, and we've talked about this a little bit before, is that every single Fish and Wildlife Department in the state, they know when the peak spawning seasons are. People say, well, you can't do that, Randy, because you don't know when the fish are spawning. Yeah, we do. We know when they're spawning. It's just like here in Missouri. If we would have some really keen conservationists in charge of this, they would not allow black bass to be taken and kept in Missouri waters from, say, April 7th through April 30th. That 3-week period, guys, is when the majority of the bass spawn in Missouri. Now, there's some outliers. Yeah, there's some bass that spawn before that and after that, but the heaviest peak spawning period is that 3-week period. So my argument is, and I'll just use Missouri for example, each state has a little bit different window as far as when their key spawning periods are. Why can't, like the Missouri Department of Conservation, say, we're not going to allow bass to be kept during this 3-week period. We're going to let these fish spawn undisturbed. We're not going to take bass off beds. We're not going to take bass off beds to haul them around the lake in the tournament. And we're going to ensure a strong spawn. We're going to take care of every controlled variable that we have to ensure these bass have a successful spawn. And it goes over in tournaments, guys. There is no, if I was in charge of everything here, there would be no tournaments allowed in the state of Missouri between April 7th and April 30th, because that is the prime season. Guys, you know what's going to happen right now? I guarantee these bass are on the beds at Table Rock Lake right now. There's more bass. The next 2 or 3 days, there's more bass going to be moving up on the beds. And there's going to be over 1,000 boats down there fishing for these fish that are bedding, hauling them all over the lake, pulling them off the beds. You tell me that's a good conservation practice? You tell me, when you're concerned about the sustainability of the fishery, that that's a smart move to make? It's ignorant. We're hurting ourselves by doing that. I don't understand why people can't see this. So it's not like we don't have 52 weeks out of the year. It's not going to kill anybody out there to lay off these fisheries for 3 weeks during the prime time of the spawn. It's not going to kill these tournament directors or tournaments here in Missouri to say we're not going to have tournaments during those 3 weeks of April. We're going to have them before or after. We're not going to do that. It's an easy fix on there. So I think that, when you're looking at making smart decisions that will influence the quality of fishing that we enjoy now and for future generations, it's a no-brainer. So why don't they do that? I mean, obviously the only reason is it's a combination of apathy. I don't think it's ignorance. I think a lot of people know when fish spawn, but it's a combination of apathy and greed. When you're talking about bringing, tournaments into an area to increase the revenue to the communities, those people don't care. I mean, the people that issue those permits, we've talked about that before. And inevitably, I'm going to have some people in there talking about, okay, Randy, you're part of the problem because you're fishing the tournament this weekend. It's like, we can't do anything about that. It's like we're tournament fishermen are victim of the schedules, unless you just don't want to fish tournaments. But that'd be like saying, well, I'm just not going to go to work today simply because I don't like, the lunch hour that they put on there. We can't do that. So we have to try to affect change for the positive the way we can. So, and all you guys, another thing that I'll hear this too, it's like when you're saying the state needs to put some type of stricter regulations, there's always a group of guys that are saying, oh, I don't want more government. This has nothing to do with that, guys. It's not, nobody is taking any of your rights away. We're being responsible conservationists to do that. And if you, in my opinion, if you're not a responsible conservationist, you don't have any business fishing anyway. That's something that every single one of us has a duty and a right to do, is be good stewards, be good conservationists to pass these fisheries down to the next generation. So anyway, guys, that's the final rant here we're talking about. Like I said, I'll keep you guys updated on the zoo down there this weekend on Table Rock, let you know how it goes, and we'll talk later. See you.